On the banks of the Zambezi River, the Tonga supplemented their diet with natural fruits and roots. During the construction of the Kariba Dam, most of their indigenous trees were destroyed. But when the Tonga came upland, they continued eating natural fruits and roots from indigenous trees as well as trees that had naturalized. We call these trees Binga Trees.
The fruits, especially the indigenous fruits, certainly you can never go wrong in terms of nutritional value. Probably that's why they meet that people in Binga live longer because they use moti. But I think the moti is the use of the herbs that you find. For example, what we call mbelebele here, the sespan is very rich in protein because it's under the leguminous. So somebody who's eating mbelebele or sespan, it's just as good as somebody who's eating peas, right? In as much as somebody who's eating moringa is just as good as eating beans. So at the end of the day, I think that rich knowledge of the herbs and the roots and the fruits in Binga is actually the really nutritional or the valid nutritional value that you can talk about the trees in Binga.
In Binga, there is one tree whose nutritional value is unparalleled. This is the Moringa Tree, also known as the miracle tree or never die tree. The Moringa plant is native to Africa and northern India.
Moringa is not any indigenous tree in Binga. But what can be said about the Moringa is that it is naturalized because its origin is actually from India. That's where you are getting the Moringa. And there are a number of species of Moringa. You have got Moringa Olefin, you have got Moringa peregrina, you have got Moringa stenopetala. But the species that is found in Binga is called Moringa Olefin. The Olefin part of it is actually from the word oil. So this is a species that is well known for production of oil, unlike other trees.
In Zimbabwe, the Moringa is widely found in Binga.
The root of the Moringa is a tuber. That's why it thrives in the regions like ours in Binga. They thrive because it's got a tuber. That tuber actually preserves a lot of water that can be used. So it's a tree that you can use where there isn't much water, or it doesn't need a lot of water. So Moringa can be actually grown from the seeds itself. You can also grow it from the cuttings. You can cut the cuttings. So those are the major two propagation methods that you can use. But then if you get the seed, you can actually plant the seed in different ways. You can space them like 60 centimeters apart. That is if you want them to be trees. But you can also put them very close to each other, which you would then use as a vegetable. Because if you put them close to each other, you have a bush, like a ridge of Moringa, and you don't allow those to grow very big. You cut them after every 2 weeks, the leaves will be ready enough to cut. So it's actually specifically where you use that as safe fodder. Because it's also good fodder, especially for the hares and the goats.
While it may seem easy to plant and grow Moringa, processing the byproducts needs special care.
Zagalanda nge twajera zagalanda twamupulula. Twapulula twabikasaga. Twabikesaga twayanika mu mwenzule. Lipa kuti tatyanikire mu azuba tyanikire mwenzule kuti ulamana ma vitamin akusalala kutyanikire ezuba ngasalala zakalanda so nchitu ngatyanikira mu mwenzule kuchitira kuti zakalanda esuzwe kuli green kautasali pe kautamani ma vitamin pe.
When drying the leaves, you don't dry it in the direct sun because
omwaka wana bakozi wakunya kusenako kokusenako
Njotiri
No, what's it?
so zakalanda powder usebenza kuti ulabika kana kuti muporichi kana kuti muti kuchitira kuti umane malwazi onse ali mu mubiri ulavikira zonse malwazi ali mu mubiri akusimisya mubiri akupa appetite kuti muntu alieroko.
Besides consumption in homes, the moringa powder was developed into various nutritional packages.
we had what we used to call Binga power porridge. So it was a maize meal mixed with beans, and then you put the moringa leaf powder. So that powder was then administered to the under fives in the hospital through the nutrition department. So the whole idea was to try and enhance the nutrition of the under fives.
The moringa was first described in India around 2000 BC as a medicinal herb.
Because the benefits of the moringa, it has got all the the food nutrients that you can think of. You talk of calcium, you talk of vitamins, you talk of all the nutrients that you can think of. But it is very high in vitamin B12, which at the end of the day is needed because that is the type of vitamin that is needed to boost the immunity. So that's why probably at one point people were actually confusing or mixing that to say it's treatment for AIDS. It's not really treatment for AIDS. But the sure thing is the immune booster, the vitamin B12, that is what is needed. So that's why a lot of people were actually mixing it or actually confusing it.
Besides the leaves, other parts of moringa trees that are processed into powder are the roots and bark.
Zakalanda kotamala mpapeko jili munini lali kwa kuli mbubugo so ulatu kulansa tegwa ma carrots around ni carrots yaje mtuno kwa so ani yaje bwa so mbutu mtuno bujini
Muti ni
carrots era kwa muri mbubugo
ira nunkirira muri carrots
pogo tigoli ya ula papula tulipeka kuli mbubugo nga papula wafupula eriko twasibulya gulya ogulatabirisya izingi kufundikira ikumvuka musana kujisa kwa mwida uragwasya sibiri kana even kotakwe appetite kojisidwa kotajisidwa kumvuka nje kuti umvuke mubiri wako kolimvuka sibiri koponete kanyera wamva umvuka walyamagwa
ndagwisya
so walyambubo ngowa papuro mvembo iba swakulenga bayanda macarrots aya so kuti ayinke mbuli kublawa engayinka kali matete but mbuli kwa mtare kugweru aralenga twazyo bayitira dry carrots tegwa moringa dry carrots topana ma contact so nganda bapa contact yangu ni bayanda balaisya nganda nenga ngatunenga katuli mbubobu katuli dry atoto trenka katuli mbubobu katuli mbubobu feroro kuyanika kwakhona lawo yanika mumwensule rubo mbubobu
oyo zakalanda miyanda imiyanda ngetwasya itwasya twapala twazwa kupala twayanika
icarrots taizumi zikipe kupegwa mwana uli under age iliya muntu uli 19 yakuyajwe kambo mwana oyo kutwalya carrots mumubiri kutwa boostika ngawo mu disturbance ntuzingi zyaterede mujindejo muri ma 15 years
disturbance nyama
mwana akazvoro mwarumi kutwalya loko musakaranda carrots iramupa akutegwa mamvwa mubiri verenga wayabuyanda rakwe zijitava mwinga vere walimvwa waba muntu mupati
ngipati
mafeelings so tatusungwazi ife vana vali vovo tusungwazi yaba yabaka bapati 20 kazi yakujuro nkambo vere wasikala kupona mbuvo but munini byakakuyansi ne better wamuitira matu waitirwa green tea kuti kata konzi kuli ya porridge powder ngakulimizira njitu yita masamba bya kwanywa akiri green tea nkambo inoliro kumugwasya kubika ma vitamin tunyamai kumutabirira but wamanja amyanda mbuli muzi kuti chisiko ngondende verenga yako ba problem vanigeni weda mwana akazi oro mwalume tazinontazi jitipe kuti wali so kuba alumika party chibati balumi olokajiswa mulabuza ati anikinchiswa zilaita kuti muntu wababulu sugar diabetes waba asima muli zimuntu mu party ngatajipone mbuli mbali kupona but moyo layanda amwe akati kabo kwajiswa mwalume mwana akazi umola yanda mwitani so nchitunga sunga sauti wali ya carrots alakwe dongo ndende wali mvuka mbuli mbali kupona kalezi rajika wafura ya wajitisia breakfast kumatubana kuti tulako mpolo tulali kwata kujisiara talinge noa gomena noa sima noa bobo ulatioba koma sivya ndura namjo mapapura maitambuli piece sira chiwise oro makata kata ma piece akonaya kasi mitobo majika lali gwambuli piece lali gazonse sira testa futi lali kwarubo.
The moringa has got the pods like a pin, very long, where you can cut, use them as green. You can just cut them like what you do to the green peas, or you could also tin them, like in Tanzania they used to tin those.
Kuti yayi umansegezi aya magwa mula yumi alajita soda. Oh, maumpa. Ko itweri amabika amanzi. Ya kara amanzi for 2 to 3 days yauti mabika men kgs. Effect utini 5 kg ya dust ya zezinzwa umpa. po yakala 3 days manzi wabika 10 liters so asikugwisya manzi wabika mupiga wapoira yaba soda yali white yastererezwa yazwa konsisi iraitaru irachisya terere irakonzya kuchitisya chimodo kubekisya makeke iseed kuti yayuma iratwikwa muchiri nwatwa muchiri ipowder yakona wabika mumanzi arokuvira 35 liters yamupiga po ipowder ni 1 kg wabika mukati ni wabira po manzi akona razwa musinza muri mafuta bagusya manzi amafuta ali ajuru wabika muri mukapiga eziyazi yasyaratira po waboira irazwa cooking oil tikutagwe michina yakudina kutika zilinchi bunga muchina yanda makgs nini ati olanche olarijitira cooking oil yabo olajisya jishu.
Besides the numerous byproducts, moringa leaves can be consumed while fresh.
That's the tree that in Binga that is actually used as relish. So for quite a long time, you would just find one tree that would save a big homestead. And people were taking duties actually to get the leaves of the moringa. The other thing is the flowers, which are also very rich in calcium. They were also a delicacy. So people would also eat the flowers or use the flowers as they were preparing the moringa.
Omusamu lali gwa matu chisyu amaluba onse chisyu mulajigatanga lyabiswa po asikupulula sagala ndabika olabikwa lubodo bitabenchuka galatirwa amafuta.
Tubujala musogwe mumusamu mulamfubya kwa twajera busikobya twajera twabwesa mumadishi twatwala kumunzi
oni nda uzganda bweza amaliga ndatola kuchikolo ndakubhadalira mwana achikolo mponi ndajana ityobera futi ndabweza ndayakula busukumbe ndayakula nsipa brenchi ndigwasya nchindimbichiteto ndincherera busika bwako.
There is one tree that has become a key component of the everyday life of the Tonga people. This is the Tamarindus Indica, a live tree. The tree is very rich in vitamin C.
Kuti mwatiki myakula michuru so kuti kwacha yatondeza utwabiswa mwasiku tanta muchuru mwasiku jera mwarundikansi mwauma kusamu mwapapura mwabikamu mwayakukucha ninyaga yatalika kuti kwabisika micheti nasika pe 12 kambo jindi jonse zile wali kubambwa mu magazi wali kulya kwa mpulivia tepoka ina zibapekuzi yana niko kaba ma business tepoka litondezya so kuti tubusambale busika babuziba kambo buliji ndi mbuto ali kupona vereme kandi komena tepoka ali kulya patience masikati kubinga kupinga sima twaizima si busika mbuto ali kulya kuseni mupita sikati to susura twakwana lya tuliba yumubi abasimbi batwabi abatage muri mugagira inonyere mwana lya tuchuga imbo muri simide ko data zera ni faga lya busika samu arabereka sibigora siriga sibi Rawera mbiriro mu Ora go visit rawera but izirasiyana emyako nira nona emirarira but nari kuchikwa kale jindi politics zo mukuti to add sugar.
In the food industry, the tamarindus is used for preserving food. It is also used for fortification of vitamin C. It can be used for tenderizing meat. A lot of other byproducts can be produced from the tamarindus. From the fruits of this tree, you can make tamarindus juice, tamarindus jelly and jam, candies and sweets.
Busiga, a live tree in Binga. I'm with Miss Mpabanga here from Forestry Commission. What is Busiga?
Ubusiga, they say its scientific name is Tamarindus Indica. It is originally from India. It grows up to a height of 20 to 24 meters. Usually the fruit. It's pod-like. It has got a sausage shape. That it will be a bit caved. The case of the pod, it's brinkly. That if you crush it, wanting to get what's inside, the fruit inside, it's easily breakable. The fruit has got a velvety. It's velvety when you look at it. It is brownish in color. It is usually found in riverine areas, so I can say it best grows in where there are alluvial soils.
Jindi bali kuti mukuta kali kuli mmenena but oguno ntwakazi wosiba oguno mali machi but mbulo oyu mpatongo ali banene twakugankabya 85 so ala musamu twakazi wosiba kupona ba Binga Trees aba forest kuti imwe misamu kuti kamutako era byalo potwa wosiba kuyibyala sa twayebo nangira ali mmenena njare but no kutwa bikansegezera mmena pazi nono mu 2 weeks no lya mmena.
In Binga, the Tamarindus tree has various uses.
Oyu musamu tegwa busika omusamu likwasinga autanabiswa tukalika kulya matutulaji sya porridge waya kumaluba ala chikalubo porridge no abiswa ngaya makoto ino mbatanabiswa bala chikalubo porridge atona usanga abwesa tulabisya mu manzi na abira manzi twasikumine na mupira ziyakuti we porridge yako ninyingi byene mbuli munyozo la family byene yanda kuti kurweli kubesawa byene kotwa siku chika porridge kotwa ya oyo musamu tegwa busika rwele rwawo bya tufakali kulya jini tufamulisa kato kwa mubisi kakusuka kuno 56 musamu wakaliwo kala akuko so musamu ulapa mangusu mumubiri ulapa yonse ndati vitamin ni protein kambo musamu wa ulya ulafana na mutwali yansini olokuti yaba inzala byabona kuti busumbuche kwakwana masi olekonzya kunika manzi mwabikatwe mwajika inga yaba maheo mwanywagiri ngauta kwe sugar tu we sugar kali tawo vile olalikwa bulazi ntu zingiro konzibubereka kuti mwana olama kotokoto mwidate gwa noma ulcers yindi takaliwope kambo kango kambo bapati bakalizi kuti mwana kabamva utula mwidabo bakalizi kale kuti bulwazi bwa mala so banonga babika ologiriso babika mu juice yako kana mutambula basi kuzubula itweli ya mubimba pora bikanje ka quarter teaspoon ula tutuma mbuli endrose mpo basi kunyishya mwana kana uliya unga wamva kunyonwa mwidakata pai mwana munini kuzwa kuma 5 years agyaje bali kumunigira mbo babikalbo bakonza kuti nyonwa akudabya kwinda kuti aluge bamita bakonzi pe kukuluka so musamu tegwa busika mbutulya mbubo bo baluma balabo balanchi bulita batupa manguso lawo la misana like sya stress so baoberesya nguba mbalanyera mbuli kulya putulya bamwe balaniga muri mu 350 nezanti ka drinkaga poa tsiku bikatu njo tuli tu wasoka nitwa bomba washeka bakonzi yakunywa futi kulasirika kulako kuti myanda kuita porridge era injo myanda kuita maheu mulabika kuli mbubobu babika bapati mujinongo mayakana muchikali basi kweta 12 ya teaspoon babika itweli ya mubimba ngatwalirika mubimba wakabajindurya akakumbuka mubimba zinjo nizya bibyaga jalo tarya batu amwe 2 weeks or 3 weeks jo lagirike pono inka wakabweze tweli yakona ndindirire so twe tulalibika mu manzi dipono jini ko tutubike tutire manzi tunori turokuzama kuti kamwe kwali doti andi mwabona kuti twatira manzi ngakwalibone bati kuti kautatiri manzi mwabika kali litwenga mwazonji yatuno tudoti mukati notamba kutalika mbutukanda chintokwa porridge ndwere ruchikwa mbubo kakutakwe busuka kutakwe manzi kakuli mbubo yabika mbubo kutsana busika bushuri po tutire manzi mukati imutire ngaya twatira manzi tuyanda kutalika kuganda ko kugujira ko kutakubika amaswazi sombo bobo kinogo pabusika weso kibo bombe kulafana na muntu ali densima even wali ulabona mwirana kambu busika musamu waji ntubya opona mu butonga ngutupona awo bya omusamu jindi jingi kutwazi yali shaba pati baronga batutwabona masika azyaroko nzara mvula inolinche kaba sio medeti bazofutuka kambo wazyalisya ngako kulima bali mambuto njibabona kuti siyofamba so ninuke abali kwitombo twatira manzi sayatu ya twatira mugati
After a short while stirring, our Tamarindus drink is ready.
Iyi munywe. Tuziyembo kwanona. Kujirura muri mutwari kuvuga ku musiko.
Dabuluri. Nanga bulalura. Dabuluri bulalo nabia.
Ubunyi kamvo chinji mtobole chitu.
Nyoba nanga mwana kwalura kwenda shuka. Kunonalo ombu.
Mangi mbuto disamba. No 208 lyanzala ili twainonga tulabo obufere bulizi kuti covered 7 days kulo kulya mbubo kutera nonsense katika mwenda zifana. Wasima sibiri wenda yatagamba li kwapala fana na wajigidi 7 days lo kulinda busuro kulya mbubo kutera.
The Tamarindus tree, a live tree in Binga. It is very edible and bitter too. But you can also chew the leaves. They are very nice and very tasty. Join us in the next episode as we look at other aspects of the Tonga people. I am Eldrina Mgenda, Twalumba.